In 1981, there was a murder so shocking that it changed the entertainment world forever, yet the killer was never brought to justice. Now, almost 40 years later, we're reopening the case, reviewing old leads as well as new evidence, to try and make sense of a killing which gave rise to a massacre. The who, what, why, and how of when video killed the radio star. Welcome to the Radio Star Murders.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Radio Star Murders. This is a podcast where we are going back in time to figure out if radio did, in fact, or video rather, kill the radio star. We're going to be analyzing music videos, and today we are going to be talking about My Heart Will Go On by Celine Dion, because we're continuing. This is the penultimate of our movie-themed music videos we're going to be talking about. So all the past ones that we've talked about have had to do with the theme song to major motion pictures. This one, of course, is to James Cameron's Titanic. It's Celine Dion, My Heart Will Go On. I'm joined by Clay. Clay, how are you?
I'm good. I'm looking forward to revisiting this song as it was a cultural touchstone of my youth that I never totally appreciated at the time, because I was a early teenage man and did not want to admit that I liked Celine Dion or Titanic. I still don't like Titanic, but this song slaps, as the kids say.
We'll probably disagree then, but I'll get into it by just describing the video.
You have no heart.
I have no heart to go on. I'll describe the video. The video is a Cliff's Notes version of the Titanic film, interspliced with Celine Dion doing her high school yearbook photo shoot. And that's pretty much all it is. I might feel comfortable saying this is the worst visual music video we've seen so far, in terms of work that was done. But let's start off with the song, I guess, because that's the way we do things. So you like My Heart Will Go On. Do you want to explain?
I think it's a good song. It's the video and the song. It seems very much like they went back and they looked at the video and the song for I Will Always Love You from The Bodyguard and said, can we just do that? Because the videos are almost identical and the songs are almost identical, at least as far as like where the swell comes and the way the songs are structured and everything. They're very, very similar. This video at least has Celine Dion on a boat instead of just sitting in a chair like backstage. The other one does.
Yep.
But yeah, I think they're very similar, and it's just I think the song is probably this was going to be interesting to talk about, because I actually think the video is I would rather watch the video than watch the movie, because I do not like Titanic. I think the video and the song, you get the visuals from the movie, and the song elicit that emotional response that the movie is
very
building
very
towards.
Good at that. Yep.
Yeah, very much quicker and much more effectively. But the song itself, I don't think it really, unless you know what it's from, I don't really know if it would have a lot of staying power, frankly.
I think you compared it to Whitney Houston's and I Will Always Love You. I think that I Will Always Love You is like the pinnacle of this kind of song. So everything is always kind of going to be secondary to it. When we did A Star Is Born, we both said that her ending song, Lady Gaga's final song, is very reminiscent of I Will Always Love You, but it's not quite as good. And I would say that like this is like I would describe this song in the video, especially if you're comparing it to Whitney Houston's I Will Always Love You, as like a white 60-year-old executive's idea of what that song is, sort of, where Celine Dion, I think she has a pretty voice. Like, it's inarguable that she has a very pretty voice. She is not a soulful singer, I wouldn't say. And it's like, I think her voice is actually custom built. She did Beauty and the Beast before this, the theme song for that. Her voice is kind of built for Disney-esque theme song sounds. Like, it's not particularly soulful. It's pretty, and it works well in context of being like a soundtrack to a a movie, but I wouldn't want to listen to her music outside of that.
Yes, yeah, I don't know how you could make it through like an album of Celine Dion music. I think she's got a great voice, a lot of power, but it's all very samey, and yeah, there's not a lot of heart to it. Yeah, after by the third song, you'd just be like banging your head against the table for something different.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that you thought the Whitney Houston was just her sitting in a chair. I think that music video is much better at capturing the emotion of the song than this one is. I
would agree. Yeah, I think I think Whitney Houston is a better actor.
Yeah, a better actor, singer, and everything like that. Yeah,
because the visuals of Celine Dion in this one are just very, like you said, it feels very high school yearbooky. It's a lot of giving herself a hug and tilting to the side as the camera sort of pans by slowly.
Yeah, there's a fan on the medium setting 10 feet away from her. Yeah.
With one of those red gradient backgrounds or blue gradient backgrounds behind them. And then there's that one shot where she's holding a football.
Yeah. the laser beam background. Yeah, it's
extra $20 for that Titanic background.
I think that this is, I always think of Chuck Klosterman has a thing about some love songs. He was just making the point, which I'm going to butcher, is that Coldplay to him is the epitome of a bad love song writing band, where they write a love song that no one really relates to, but it's more like you're writing a song based on what a popular conception of love would be.
Yes.
And I kind of feel that way about this one. I think all love songs have to be simple. I don't think there's there's no great progressive rock love song, I don't think. You kind of need this simple feeling-based songwriting to it. And I think that this one definitely has it. I just think it's really, it's almost borderline too bland for here.
Yeah.
The idea is very much a love song. Let's write it out. It's got it's got 10 words in it total, and she just repeats it over and over again. It swells to the end.
Yeah, I think the structure of the song is very good. Much like I Will Always Love You, and that, that final crescendo key change is fantastic.
Yeah, it's what you're waiting for the whole time to get to that. Yeah.
It's not quite I Will Always Love You, but it's pretty damn good. But the lyrics to this song are fucking terrible. They are really, really bad. The first two lines of the song both end with the words "go on." It's not even a rhyme. It's just they're using the same phrase again.
Yeah.
And the pre-chorus and stuff. You're here. There's nothing I fear. It's just really trite.
Yeah.
You
and open the door.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really elevated by her performance and her voice and the atmosphere and the emotion that the music puts into it. But as far as it's not Percy Sledge getting on stage and improvising When a Man Loves a Woman. Let's put it that way.
Right. Yeah.
Did you know that's how that song was written? Which fucking blows my mind.
He just sort of improvised it on the spot.
Yeah. He was going through a divorce or something, or he had a falling out with this woman he was in love with. And so he was on stage and he said to the band, just play me a slow blues thing or something. I just need to get something off my chest. And then he fucking improv'd the entirety of When a Man Loves a Woman, which is amazing.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't have this song doesn't have that edge to it, I suppose. It's apparently the music was written first. The music was the theme,
makes sense,
to the movie. It was the soundtrack or the scoring to it. They wanted to have a single that they could put out, so they hired Celine Dion to go and sing the song that they wrote and put it on top of it. It's just it feels very much like the core. It feels very much like it was designed to do that kind of. And I would agree with you that the bridge I think we're going to get here too is that it's so linked to the movie at this point that it's impossible to not hear the song and think about the movie. And you said you didn't like Titanic. I haven't seen Titanic in a long time. Based purely on the Cliff's Notes version of the movie that you get for this video, it's a pretty, to not say anything about the quality of the movie, it's a pretty effective story, I think. Yeah, there's something about the Titanic and this the disaster and like finding love on that disaster and then dying at the end. And I always thought that the Titanic would be the second scariest accident to go on outside of a plane crash. Like there's something really terrifying about it, and it's really effective at that. And
it's like a plane crash where there's more suspense to it. Where it's like
a
the plane has
4-hour-long
crashed.
plane crash. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
exactly.
the plane has crashed, but that's not what's going to kill you.
Right. Yeah, and I think the song does that. It's so linked at this point. This is like one of the biggest songs of all time, apparently, too. What does it says here? The worldwide sales are 18 million copies. It was the second highest single by a female artist in recording history. So,
you know what the first was?
I don't know. I would assume it's Whitney Houston. It does not say. I can look that up. But what do you think about how it ties into the movies?
Yeah, I think it's it's completely linked to the movie. I would be interested to see if there are people now who have come across this song independent from the movie, like, you know, if you're doing a deep dive on Celine Dion or whatever, and have the same response to it that people had at the time. I mean, the answer is probably most definitely no, because it's such a cultural zeitgeist moment with the Titanic and the song and everything. But yeah, I don't think it holds the same power, the same space without the movie. Definitely. Do
you think that it's age? Like, I think, but like I was looking at contemporary reviews of the song and everything, and contemporary when it came out, they're like, what a great tune, what a great movie, what a great film. And I think both the movie and the song have not aged well.
I actually noticed that watching the video. I was like, man, I mean, this is still an amazing feat of filmmaking, but some of those boat shots look a little rickety as far as like the CGI go.
Yeah.
I was thinking as I was watching the video, I was like, I'm surprised James Cameron hasn't done like a remaster re-release of the. He'd probably make another $1 billion if they were like, yeah, we punched up all the effects on Titanic, we're putting it in theaters again for the next week.
Yeah, because the practical stuff still holds up, I think. It's really, there's that one pan where the famous shot where they're on the bow of the ship and he's holding her and the camera pans around them. It looks really bad in the background as it's panning.
I was thinking. As this movie has always felt to me where James Cameron fully took the step into caring more about pushing the visual technology boundaries than he did about the story he was telling. Because it's not a bad story. I mean, it's fine. You know, it's the love story, it's a tragedy or whatever. But the movie's so long, and like if the story that they're telling is actually pretty thin. The emphasis is absolutely on the sinking of the ship and everything.
Yeah.
And I felt the same way about Avatar, where it's like, yeah, sure, he's moved the filmmaking technology stick forward a bunch of yards, but I'm basically watching like a less good version of Pocahontas or Dances with Wolves, with giant blue cat people, and you can tell that that movie in particular feels like, well, let's just give them the simplest story we can possibly come up with, so then they can focus on how crazy our visuals are.
Yeah.
And I feel like movie making has moved past that. I'm really interested to see how these Avatar sequels that he's been working on end up faring when they finally come out, because I feel like the integration of effects and filmmaking and story is leaps and bounds past what it was when Avatar came out.
Right.
So unless he's gonna like blow everybody's mind in a technological way again, I don't know. I don't know if the market is there for Avatar 2 at this point. But who knows?
Yeah. I mean, it's weird because it's one of the highest grossing movies of all time, but no one talks about it.
I still don't get it, but you know, whatever.
Yeah, I remember when it came out, people were very excited about it. It appealed to a certain kind of blockbuster fan, I think, who really liked those kind of 3D was new at the time, relatively.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
It's like, who cares? But
like I mean, this is a music video podcast, so we don't have to talk about movies the whole time like we do in everything else. But I mean, after watching Infinity War and Endgame, like those things are just so masterfully well done as far as integrating special effects and the story that they were telling and all that kind of stuff. That I think that whatever Avatar's doing has a very high bar that they have to get over.
Yeah. We've come a long way, but our hearts will go on. So is this the worst music video we've done so far? I thought it was pretty bad. It was really
it's
just
definitely the least thought through. Let's put it that way. It's definitely we have a camera and Celine Dion for 15 minutes.
Right. We have a rough cut of the movie. We'll cut this up a little bit more.
Do you think this is a worse video than I think it's a worse video than the Cyndi Lauper one, because that one at least was fun to watch. But you didn't seem to enjoy that video at all.
No, I didn't. But that one at least took a little bit of work. This one took no work.
Yeah.
Celine Dion, I don't think she changes outfits, right? She's nope. It's one take that she did that, and they just switched the green screen background, and then had that one shot where they moved her to the fake railing of the ship. That's the extent of it. It's really they put a disco ball, and her stood behind it, and they just kind of beamed white light off of it in some of the shots. Yeah. It's really cheap.
The Michael Jackson Rock With You video, where it's just him in a mirror suit. Standing in front of a laser.
So I think that the video actually does damage to the song in some ways, although just because of the sheer laziness of it. But in terms of what it was trying to do, which was sell the movie, you'd have no problem identifying what movie this is supposed to be working with. It's all movie.
Yeah, I think it's a weird split actually for this one, because the Celine Dion parts of the video definitely don't help the song, but seeing the clips from the movie absolutely help the song.
Yeah,
because it immediately puts you in the mindset of that movie and the context that it was created for, and like I said, it's a very quick effective recap of the emotional beats of the movie, and it works pretty well. I mentioned this before we started. When I went to watch this video, the first one I clicked on was a very tight retelling of the movie, starting from the beginning with where they find the boat and everything. And I was watching it going wow, this is really good. This is much better than the movie, because they just cut it down to the most essential storytelling beats, and we're just telling the story of the movie through this video with this music on top, and it was really effective. And then I realized about halfway through that Celine Dion hadn't shown up yet, and I realized I was watching a fan video. And I kind of wish they had just put that out as the video, because it was really good. And didn't have the Celine Dion on a gradient, an Illustrator gradient background.
Yeah. I was my main takeaway is I was struck by how well it has not aged. Sort of it feels
how well it has not aged.
How poorly it has aged. I think
it
would be a better way to say that. How poorly the song has aged in context. It's still very evocative of how you feel about the movie, as you say. But I think I'm not convinced it's a very good song. I think.
If you want to compare it to I Will Always Love You, nobody's going to be playing this at their wedding, I don't think, anymore. They probably did quite a bit
during that 5 years, probably after Titanic came out. I wouldn't be surprised,
Yeah, but I think I Will Always Love You will be a staple for a very long time, in a way that this probably will not.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. So, in conclusion, do you think that the video helps or hinders this song? Did video kill the radio star?
For me, like I said, this is the first split decision, I think, where half yes, half no. Because the Celine Dion stuff doesn't help, but the Titanic stuff absolutely helps. So it's a split for me.
Yeah. I guess I'm kind of the same. It'll be interesting when we compare it to the one that's coming up after this. But I think the video kind of hurts, maybe. I'm really the memory I have it of is mostly how half-assed the production of the music video was. Really not much effort put into it. However, it's one of those things that I guess if your content is good enough, it doesn't matter how much effort you put into it. People are going to love it, and that's what this turned out to be, I suppose.
She's I think she's only done one Jim Steinman song. But she's a great Jim Steinman singer, because she's got that power, but she doesn't really have a ton of heart to it, like you were saying.
Yeah.
And that's a good fit for his kind of bombast. And yeah, she's interesting. I'm glad that she has her residency going in Las Vegas or whatever. But yeah, I don't miss her on the radio.
No, yeah, I suppose that's a good way to put it. Well, I think that's it, Clay. We're
glad she's gone.
We've got our one last movie themed episode coming up. Do you want to say what that is?
We will be covering the 1984 epic music video Ghostbusters by Ray Parker Jr.
Yep. So you guys can look forward to that.
Which, if you want to see half-assed music videos, watch the Ghostbusters video.
Look no further. We'll have something to talk about there, I suppose, in the context of that one. They pair nicely. My Heart Will Go On and Ghostbusters.
They do, yes.
So yeah, that's it, guys. Support the show by following us on the social media, all that stuff. All the links are down below. Thank you very much for listening, and we will be back next week with Ray Parker Jr.'s Ghostbusters.